The map's offline, but we're back online with Spider-Man. Oof, I haven't played this, and I think the last time we played this was like a month ago. So
you're probably just garbage now.
yeah, like as if I wasn't before. Okay, I still know how to goo people. So since the last time we played this, not like the MCU has ended.
Yeah.
And Endgame has come out. I just died already.
Nice.
I forgot how to like dodge people. I think it was triangle or something.
Yeah.
But like yeah, so I don't think we've actually like been together to like talk about the film. So what did you think of like Endgame after seeing it like what
Yeah, I was gonna say.
times?
I was gonna say, what do I think after which viewing? The first, second. I only saw it 3 times.
3 times?
Yeah, I saw it thrice. And
I saw it twice, and I think that's like enough for me. Like I was like, oh, like I'll see if there's like any extra stuff. But then like 3 times, it's like that might be too many.
well, on the 3rd time that I saw it, I just saw it like a week or 2 ago, and it's been out for a while now.
Yeah.
Oh, you just like decided to open up some vents.
Yeah.
They did a little thing at the beginning, which I thought was funny, because they've been all about like no spoilers, like more so than any movie I've ever seen ever. Like obviously spoilers are annoying, but I've never seen like a marketing team go so hard and heavy about don't spoil this movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I've never seen like the actors actually put out things, but at the beginning of the movie last time I saw it, it was Tom Holland popped up on screen and he goes, so yeah, this movie doesn't have an after credits scene, but the trailer for our next Spider-Man movie is gonna play at the end as an after credits scene.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So stick around to watch that if you haven't already, because it does contain spoilers. And I was like, oh, that's really cool that they were like, movie's been out, we just released a trailer, let's kind of add it to something.
Yeah, I like that they like, especially like when the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer came out, they said like, hey, like if you didn't see Endgame,
Yeah.
like, this is out, and then like right in the way they're just like, oh yeah, so this happens. And I was like, oh wow, that was fast.
Like, hey, this trailer contains spoilers, and I was like, how is a trailer gonna contain the spoilers? No, that'll be fine. And then it was like, I miss him so much.
I was like, oh.
I was like, okay, there he is.
Oop, it's the Scorpion.
This is too good to be true. Scorpion.
I love like all their costumes in this.
Yeah, I think they made them look really
Like all their
cool.
suits look really great.
That's what some people. I don't know if you've heard anything new about the like Avengers Project, the new game that was like announced in like 2017, and then
Oh yeah, yeah.
total
yeah.
ghost town after. Some people are worried like that they're just gonna try to copy the MCU costumes and whatnot.
Yeah, I feel like that's like there's like the Marvel's like Avengers like animated show on like Disney XD.
Yeah.
And like they're at first it was like Marvel, or it's like Mightiest Heroes or something. Like Avengers Mightiest Heroes was like the animated show.
Yeah.
And like this new one was the just Avengers show, and like they just changed the whole design to be like the MCU, but they would have like storylines that you could have, like they fight Ultron a bunch. The Inhumans show up because like they have them.
Oh, so it's like they're trying to keep it canon in
Like
the MCU.
the costume, like, or the designs of the characters are from the MCU, I guess, to like not confuse people
Yeah.
or something like that. But like they have Ultron that shows up, and at first he has like the original comic design where he looks like an ant or whatever. Like he has that face,
Yeah.
and then when he showed up again, he has like the whoa.
Come on, Spider-Man. I thought this was a chase.
He has the Age of Ultron design, and like he dies like 600 times and comes back as he does. I've always been like skeptical about like the ending of Age of Ultron, where I was like, oh, Ultron could come back, but like I'm pretty sure they just forgot about him, or like aren't gonna do that,
Yeah, I think they.
which is a little disappointing. Because like the intrinsic thing about his character is that he's never gone. He always just comes back. He's like, oh, by the way, I was in this cell phone the whole time.
Yeah, I was in the internet. I was here.
But they're just like, nope, we gotta wrap it up because he's like a big villain. But yeah, so the MCU ended was pretty whack. Or well, not the MCU ended. The Infinity Saga ended.
Yeah, isn't Far From Home the end of Phase 3?
Yes.
Technically.
Yeah. So I guess it's just gonna be like to wrap things up and be like, this is what's happening with like X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I
Like,
kind of
oh,
thought that was a weird way to do it, because this is such like a big deal.
Like, it was kind of like the same thing with, at the end of Phase 2, the ending of that was Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And, like, it was kind of just a way to, oops, fell in the water.
Good thing you don't die in this fucking game.
Yeah, to, like, expand it more and be like, oh, this could be a new thing. And it's like, this is where we're headed next. But, like, I like how,
This is nuts.
or, well, like, I really like, this was, since it was Endgame, like, the title alone, like, there was a lot of finality to it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, we're just gonna tag on Spider-Man. It's like, you could just have that as the start of the next thing.
This whole is
Whoa.
so awesome.
I love that.
This whole sequence is super cool.
Yeah.
Throwing in all these villains.
Like, this game just really did, like, a great thing. Oops.
And that's why, like, there was no after credit scene, because they were like, it's Endgame. Like, there's nothing
Yeah.
after. We're not teasing anything. It's that's
Yeah.
it.
Electro, stop!
No. Yeah, like, I thought it was really good. Like, the first time going through, like, who was it? I think it was John C. Wood who said, like, oh, I feel like I liked Infinity War more. That's because as the whole of, like, the Infinity Saga, Infinity War was definitely the climax of the story.
Yeah.
And Endgame was, like, the end. Like, it did have, of course, like, the most amount of fan service a film could have. But, like, Infinity War definitely had, like, the big shocking moments where it's like, these people meet these people, and, like,
Yeah.
oh, what'll happen if this happens? Like, the big bad guy finally shows up and does something.
Yeah, they kept quoting it as, like, the most ambitious crossover event in history.
Yeah.
And it definitely was, and I don't know if we're gonna be like,
In fact, we don't have to do this at all if you don't
you ever fly like first class in a flight and then it's like economy is ruined for you forever. I
Yeah.
wonder if that's what it's gonna be for the rest of these movies, where
Yeah.
it's like, well, it was no Endgame, it was no Infinity War.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, now we have, like, the Marvel has the X-Men and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
like, it'll be really cool to see all that. I definitely want... Ooh, got stabbed.
Ooh, right in the back.
I really love, like, people are like, oh, the X-Men, X-Men. I want to see the Fantastic Four come back.
Me too.
Because, like, that'd be awesome. Oof. Getting shocked. Now, Jedi. You die.
More power.
Oh, no. Gasp.
He's holding my hand.
It's Dr. Octopus. E.
First and final word.
So you've gathered 6 very sinister people? What are you, some sort of suicide squad?
Stay out of our way.
Fuck.
Fucking dead.
God, this game looks so fucking good.
It looks so
And, like, the
good.
casting is great, because, like, I would just love to see this guy as Dr. Octopus in the films.
Yeah.
Like, his little claws could be, like, different design, but, like, this actor is, like, real good. And I was thinking, like, in Far From Home, they're talking, like, oh, someone needs to be a new Spider-Man, or a new Iron Man,
Yeah.
and all that crap, and it's like, I would like to see, and they're like, oh, it could be Spider-Man, and it's like, no.
No, he's
like,
he's Spider-Man.
He's too, first off, he's too young at this point to, like,
Yeah.
do all that stuff. But it'd be really great if, like, I was thinking, they had either, like, Justin Hammer come back to be, like, Titanium Man and, like, try to take up the mantle, like, oh, now's my chance to, like, do this, and, like, he's the villain, or
Yeah.
something like that, where it's like he pretends to be the good guy, or he tries to be, but, like, the way he goes about it is wrong.
Yeah.
Or, like, to introduce Doctor Doom, like, because in the comics there's the superior Iron Man, where, like, Doctor Doom became Iron Man, and he had, like, Iron Man suit, but he still had, like, his little cloak thing.
The hood.
Yeah, he still had the hood. So it's like, oh, it'd be cool if, like, Doctor Doom shows up and he's like, now's my chance to do this. And it's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Doctor Doom. And it's like, oh, fuck.
And now Fantastic Four.
Yeah. There's, like, some great, I think, there was rumors that Zac Efron is, like, gonna play Adam Warlock. And I don't know about that. Like, he just doesn't, like, after seeing, like, just the past movies, like, first off, he'll never not be the kid from High School Musical, but, like, the thing is, like, he's just, like, after the movies he's been in, like, he's just such a goofy guy.
Yeah.
Like, I just wouldn't be able to take him seriously in that role.
No, I don't see him as, like, a comic book villain or hero either way.
But there was, I think it was the Hollywood.com or whatever, like, fan cast of Fantastic Four, which I thought was pretty good. It was, John Krasinski is
Yes.
Mr. Fantastic.
Please.
I've seen all the photoshops of that, and it looks so fucking good.
Yes, please. Give him the gray streak. I want it.
Yes, Emily Blunt as like Sue Storm,
Uh-huh.
which would be great because in A Quiet Place you saw like how their chemistry was because they're actually married.
You know, they work pretty well together.
Yeah, and then it was like David Harbour as the Thing, and like I was like I would have to see Hellboy, because like other than that I've only seen him in Stranger Things as the cop. And then it was Zac Efron as the Human Torch, and I was like that would be good. Yeah, she got tuberculosis. I was like that'd be good as like Zac Efron as the Human Torch, but he'd probably need to like de-tan a bit because he's like really dark now.
Yeah, well, and then I
Opposed to,
just think of like Chris Evans as
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
wacky fucking kid.
But yeah, like, and then it was have you seen Game of Thrones?
I have seen.
Well, like it's the actor who plays Jaime Lannister.
Oh yeah.
It was like him as Doctor Doom,
Okay.
and I was like that'd be neat. That's not the suit I'm wearing though. So
Don't know where you got that picture.
yeah, we just talked over like probably one of the most important parts of the game where Doctor Octopus unleashes like cancer on the world.
Oh yeah. By the way, they're all gonna fucking die.
Yeah,
Whoops.
and he's got tuberculosis. As like there's Norman Osborn.
Mayor Osborn insists that Oscorp
Turn
is
it off.
NDC on an anti-serum.
You couldn't
I mean,
just
you could also just not have this channel on.
couldn't
like,
just yeah you.
Why does he just? Is that like his desk is just the big ass TV
If he sits at his desk chair, it's literally just like
in his face?
in his fucking face.
Oh no, blood! I really want a sequel to this game. Or I was thinking like if there were to be another one of these games, who would I want? And I feel like the most like logical choice they'd be like, oh, Iron Man, Captain America, like the top guys.
Yeah.
It'd be neat to like see like another Incredible Hulk game, like after some while, because it would just be like neat.
Yeah, the
to
last
see that.
Incredible Hulk game I played was original Xbox,
Oh yeah,
and that was a lot of fun.
yeah. They had one for the film with Edward Norton,
Yeah.
and like
Need to get back to
Like, I really wish... I think Universal still owns the Incredible Hulk and Namor.
Yeah, well, that's why he can't have his own movie.
Yeah.
He can just be appeared in
Well,
a
I mean,
movie.
he could if Universal woke the fuck up and was like, hey, people want more Hulk.
Yeah.
Because, like, people do.
I humbly accept the honor.
Like, I don't... Like, they're...
What is happening to
I
us?
just don't know why. Because they have, like, a General Ross in the films.
Yeah.
And, like... It was such, like... Like, Thor Ragnarok was good. But I felt like it was such a wasted, like, storyline for the Hulk. Because, like, he just kind of... Because he's, like, the side character in the Thor film.
Yeah, it was like a buddy cop movie.
When they're on Sakaar, which is, like... During, like, Planet Hulk and stuff, was, like, the most... Like, incredible Hulk story ever. Like, the most influential of all time. Because, like... His whole thing... Like, I'd like to see, like, a Planet Hulk game, almost. Where it's, like, you're the Hulk on Sakaar and you're in the gladiatorial arena.
Yeah.
And you fight people. You have to, like, deal with, like... The other gladiators and, like, the Red King and stuff while there's snipers trying to kill me.
And they could show you, like
this...
other like Hulk characters that we just don't see.
Yeah. And, like, to have, then, like, there's the World War Hulk where he comes back and fucks everyone up. Like, he fucks up Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Reed, Professor X, like, all of them, like, to just have, like, it was just such a way, it's like, oh, he just happened to be, like, on the planet of Sakaar.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, that, like, but it's a important story where, like, he gets a wife and all that stuff. It was just such a good story, and it was just, I felt like it was kind of wasted. Like, it's not like Thor Ragnarok wasn't a good movie, but I just felt like they could have done more with that. I don't even know where the fuck I'm supposed to go. They did something over here.
I think, do you just have to, like, take
Do I
some
have
of these
to-
bases now?
Do I have to wander again?
Yeah, where they're just like, protect some people.
Alright, there's some red things going on down there.
No, that Iron Man game that, like, I played on, what was it, PS3, I think?
They've crossed the line.
Yeah.
Was awesome. Like, I loved it. It was like the free roam aspect. Like, you got to, like, fly around wherever you wanted. You felt like Iron Man used all of his powers. Like, that was such a cool game.
Yeah. Like, I feel like one of, like, the Lego games do, like, great justice with that, where it's, like, a free roam game of, like, X character, and you're just, like, that,
Yeah.
like, person. Like, I've been wanting to, like, play the Xbox 360, like, Captain America Game, Jesus.
Oh yeah, dude, I played that, and it was like, I mean, it really was Arkham with,
Yeah, but it was like just
Cap.
Captain America.
but it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun for me.
I remember like it kind of confused me a bit with the storyline
Yeah,
because it's like supposed to be during World War II, but like there's a lot of crazy shit that happens.
yeah, I got it, and I think they had a huge missed opportunity to make the disc art the shield.
Yeah, I think you
Missed
told me this
opportunity.
several times, and like I agree with you 100%.
I'm
Because
so
isn't
mad
it just
about
him? Like with
It's
the,
just like him standing in the middle of, like, you have a circle. Make it the shield. That's it. That's all you got to do.
yeah.
I don't know. Something very small to get caught up on, and I've said this so many times to anyone that I've ever talked to about this game.
No, but like that's completely fair. Like they should have
Missed opportunity. But I got the game, and I played it and beat it in like a week, and then I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to go return it now. Because it doesn't really have a whole lot of replayability, I think.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. Like, a game like this, I think, having the open world, having customization, like, it
Yeah.
has a lot of replayability, but
Mhm.
that game was just kind of, like, as much as I love a story-driven game, and every game nowadays is open world,
Yeah.
it just didn't really... And I love Captain America, as you know.
Yes.
Love Captain America. But this game just didn't really... It was a lot of fun for what it was, but then once it was done, it was done.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you actually didn't you dressed up as Captain America to
Yes.
go to a foster home?
Yes, it was an awesome experience. One of our friends, Leah, dresses up as, like, she gets paid to dress up as a princess, sing for kids, but it's just like events like birthday parties and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, if they ever need a guy, like, I have my Captain America costume. And then she posted, like, the lady that organizes it posted an event on Facebook and was like, hey, I need somebody to dress up as Captain America for this party. That's all she said. And I was like, oh, sure, I'll do it. Where is it? When is it? And this was like months in advance. She's like, well, it'll be in Turnersville, and you can, like, show up from this time to this time. I'll give you more details when it gets closer. And I was like, okay, cool. So it was like showing up closer, and I was like, hey, so can I get those details about this event that's happening? It's coming up soon. And she was like, oh, yeah, it's for a bunch of foster kids. And you're going to have to, like,
You were
play
like, I hate
games.
those.
And I was like, yeah, those kids are terrible. No. I was like, they're each their own little Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome. Like, I can't believe that this is happening. So I went there, and it was like, the kids were younger than I expected. Like, some of them were, like, diapers. Some of them, like, couldn't talk. Like, they were, like, that young.
All right.
But it opened the door to be able to do more events like that with them, because the location it was held at took my information, and the lady that organized it has my information. So they're like, oh yeah, that's great, do you have any other costumes? And I was like, yeah, I have, like, a Robin costume, I have a Spider-Man costume, but my Spider-Man costume is, like, straight up out of, like, Spirit of Halloween, so I want to get, like, one of these, like, legit ones, like the one you just got.
I'm gonna show you the one I just got. You can see it in the closet there. It's so fucking good.
it
Like
looks so
it came
awesome.
out of nowhere. Like I was like looking on Amazon, I was like Spider-Man costume, and like there's all kinds where it's like, oh, it's just a morph suit.
Yeah,
or
that's
it's,
exactly
like,
what mine is.
Or like there's one or the cosplay sites or whatever. It's so fucking dumb, because it's like, here's this Spider-Man costume. By the way, it's like $600.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well no.
I've seen it where it's like, here's the costume, but you don't even get it as an assembled costume. You get it as fabric pieces that you have to
Yeah.
put together. And that's a little cheaper, but I can't do that.
Yeah, there
I
was
don't know
like
how to do that.
there was like one site where it's like it was the Homecoming suit, but it was like as if it was the Venom symbiote suit, where it was
Okay.
like black and white. And I was like, that's kind of cool, but it was like, do you want the mask detached? And it's like, that's extra. Do you want the web
Yeah.
suit? That's extra. The eyes, like that's extra. And I was
I
like,
did the same thing. I was looking at Spider-Man costumes. I was looking at Incredibles costumes, because I wanted to dress up as Dash. And it was like, if you want shoes put into the costume,
yeah,
you have to pay extra. If you want the gloves to detach, it's extra. It's the same thing.
yeah.
And I'm like, well, I would want the gloves to detach so I could use my hands. I would want shoes, because I want fucking shoes. I don't want
Yeah.
to just put shoes on over a morph suit. Like, that would just look weird.
Right. Like, and so I was on Amazon, and like there was one suit I found where like it was a morph suit, but like it looked really good, and like the eyes were like hard, they're like hard plastic opposed to like the morph thing, and I thought that was great because like Whenever it comes to, like, a Spider-Man costume, the eyes will always bother me because, like, they never look right.
No, when it's
But,
a morph
like,
suit, they just like shape to the head and like they
Yeah.
don't line up with your eyes.
It
Like
just
it
doesn't look okay.
It just
and,
looks
like,
weird.
in the past when I put on, like, morph, like, head things or stuff like that, like, my hair will, like, make it look like I have a tumor.
Oh yeah.
But, like, that one, like, since it's, like, so tight, like, they have different sizes and stuff, and, like, a size chart and all that on, like, the
Okay.
pictures. And, like, I got, like, a large or whatever, and, like, it fits really well, and, like, everything's, like, all smooth and stuff like that.
That's good. I've seen
like-
some that come with like a face like shield that comes with like a shell
Yeah,
that goes in the mask.
I was, like, looking up, like, the Spider-Man face shells, like, in the event that it didn't look right, but I think it looks, like, good. And, like, the eyes, like, you just put, like, over your head and, like, there's, like, where they're supposed to be, and, like, it just looks real good. And I also ordered for, like, $20, like, the web shooters
Yeah.
that, like, come on and off. So, like, I'm, like, gonna get, I think they come in, like, June or whatever, because it was, like, a separate thing. But, apparently, like, the Far From Home web shooters are different than the Homecoming ones. And, like, the Far From Home
Oh.
ones are, like, these tiny little black things that, like, are maybe, like, an inch long, and they have, like, a point to them, like, towards the wrist, and, like, they shoot out that way. Opposed to, like, the actual ones that he has in Homecoming. But, like, I got the Homecoming ones because, like, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I'd stick them on. Like, how all these guys just got out of prison and already have, like, all these guns. They didn't even change their clothes or nothing.
But former guests of Rikers are laying into your police barricades. I'm gonna even the odds.
Oof, that was a missile.
Yeah, my buddy at work was talking to me about how he has a 3D printer and he was offering to sell me his old one. So I was talking to my dad about it, and you know, my dad lives alone and just has a ton of free time apparently. So he just bought a 3D printer, like brand new. He was like, "Yeah, this whole thing sounds pretty cool, so I'm just gonna do it." I was like, "Oh, thanks, that's cool. Fuck you."
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, I want a 3D printer, but that's fine. And he was like, "All right, well, I'll just do it." And then he hooked up a thing with like a camera and
Yeah.
an app that I downloaded so I can print from my phone to his printer. And
Yeah.
I'm in New Jersey and he's in Ohio, so I'm 3D printing states away, and it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
But I've been looking at a lot of 3D printable like files and stuff like that, like for cosplay and costumes and stuff. And they have a lot of helmets that you need to like slice it so it's like you print out pieces of it and then you assemble it.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
I also saw like 3D printing Spider-Man costume pieces, like the face shell, the web shooters. Like it's all stuff that like you could just print, paint, and like create yourself for probably a lot cheaper. But it does obviously take a lot of time, and you have to make it look right.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool that like 3D printing has opened up a world for cosplayers.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, like I looked up, like I got my Cap costume on Cosplay Sky for a couple $100. I got the shield separately on Amazon for $100. It's just all like, all this crazy shit. But I see people like, oh, get a Captain America helmet, 3D print it. It's easy. I found the helmet on Amazon for $75. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like
Yeah.
it's insane. It's like, or you could just print it and take some time and some like filament, and you're good.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I love 3D printers. Like, there was a Comic-Con, I think it was East Coast Comic-Con or something like that me and my roommate, like, went to. And, he was, like, dressed up as Daredevil, and I was, like, the Red Hood.
Oh, I've seen the picture. Yeah.
And, he got, like, he went into, like, this, like, I shit you not, like, some kind of
What the fuck did that
I don't
come
know what the
from?
fuck was with that trash can. He went into, like, some, like, literally, like, a chamber thing, and, like, they 3D printed, like, him. Like, it was a model of him.
So they mapped him and then
Yeah, they, like,
made
mapped
it
him
to him.
and then 3D printed it out. And I'll show it to you. It's, like, really creepy.
That's
And I was like,
nuts.
technology's scary. Holy fuck, it's a big guy. Right up the ass. Just tasing. Oh, his friend just shot him.
Get fucked.
But, like, 3D printing is just, like, wild. And, like, it's just incredible that, like, we could do stuff like that. Like, I in shows and stuff like that, it's like, oh, 3D print, like, a gun. And it's like,
Yeah.
like, it's just crazy you can do stuff like that.
Yeah, some of the files that I've looked up, because people just make 3D printable files and they post it online, and you can just download them for free. Some people sell, but like, there's a website called Thingiverse, and you can get an
Yeah, yeah.
account for free, and you can just like save other people's designs. and then download it and print it yourself for free, and that's all. I just scroll on that sometimes when I'm bored, and I look at cool files to print. Like people 3D print the Infinity Gauntlet. People 3D print like. My dad is really into like modeling, and like he would like buy the clay models and paint them himself. And he was sending me files just yesterday about like it's just the whole. It's all these models. It's like the character art, busts, and I'm like, oh, you don't even need to go to a hobby store anymore.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks because now these places they're already hurting, so now they're gonna have no reason to sell. But that's only if someone has or knows someone with a 3D printer.
Yeah,
But he could just print out the model and then paint it himself. Like it's awesome.
Like
Oh, that was supposed to happen.
oh, I guess so.
There are easier ways to ask for an autograph. Jetpacks. Who thought it was a good idea to give these guys jetpacks? Guys, we're on the same team.
There he goes.
Till after we take out the convicts.
Oh, he's back. Unless there's a
1984 right now.
Back in 1984.
yeah.
How much you want to bet that a bunch of people that played this game did not get that reference?
No, I bet like nobody got that reference except for me and you. There was I love all the meat. Like for some reason in my subscriptions feed on YouTube, it's just like whatever character from the MCU, and it's like being this for like a minute, and like that'll be like the video.
Yeah.
And it's like Bucky being confused for a minute, or it's like Captain America being an old man for a minute, and
it's just compilations.
It's just compilations of that, and it's like it's funny, but like why is this in my feed?
Well, it's okay. My my YouTube is still like signed in on my little sibling's Xbox.
Oh yeah.
Because if they wanted to go on YouTube, they needed Xbox Live, and I was the only account with Live. So every once in a while, I'll look at my feed, and it'll be like suggested for you, and it's like fucking.
Well, like children's
It's
stuff?
like children's animated, poorly animated like Roblox video. Like it's insane. I don't even know.
Oh my god.
It'll be like somebody will play a song but make it sound like the Chipmunks, and then have a Roblox character singing it. I'm like, what the fuck
It's
is
a
this?
Roblox. That's ridiculous, but awesome at the same time.
Yeah, I'm like, if anybody opened up my Discover page on fucking YouTube, they'd be like, bro, what do you search?
Only the essentials. But I have the
Oh, get fucked! Double fucked!
there was the so in like Endgame they have like the Iron Gauntlet or whatever, where it's like Tony has like the nanotech gauntlet.
Yeah.
Fuck off. And they have like I have the Infinity Gauntlet from like Marvel Legends, which is where I also got the Cap Shield and like all this stuff. And they have that now. Like they have the Iron Gauntlet that they made, where it's kind of just like the Infinity Gauntlet reskinned.
You're dead.
No, I live. The Infinity Gauntlet just reskinned for like it's like on the right arm, and it's like
Oh, so you can wear both?
yeah.
That'd be cool.
Because it's right-handed in the film. Holy shit. Broke my spine on that little like thing right there. But yeah, like they have that, and like there were so many people that were like Endgame was good, but there were some things I was upset about. Like there was for the Hulk, like his injuries like permanent.
Yeah.
Which I don't like. Like I feel like that just limits him a lot.
Not gonna let that happen.
Well, I also was curious to see if this Hulk was like, he said it was the best of both worlds, and I'm like, is he not as strong as, it seems like he's weaker, like he's not as like fucking jacked and ripped and strong as the other Hulk.
That's because like this Hulk is like the Professor Hulk, where it's supposed to be like he's the intelligence of Bruce, or I almost said Bruce Wayne, or Bruce Banner, because everybody's like fucking Bruce something, Bruce Almighty, and he like has the strength of the Hulk, but he like the Hulk is strong when he's angry.
Yeah, and he's
so like
not
if he's not angry, he's not that strong. A cool cutscene again. So like that was disappointing. Like we saw, like his arm was like a lot, like it was different than like his other arm. So it was like he was like asymmetrical.
Yeah.
So like he's got a little baby arm now. Which is like I don't know. Like I didn't really like that. There's like some other stuff I didn't like. It was just There were some things I was like complaining about,
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's hard. It's hard to make something so.
but it's like stuff you gotta like
Astronomical.
deal with. And it's
Yeah,
like,
and it's hard to take those things with a grain of salt when it's like, okay, but look at everything else in this movie, you know?
yeah.
Like some of those
Like
things.
there were some things
I'm
where
okay with.
People were like upset about some things where it's like, or like the Russos were retconning things where it's like, oh, Cap could always lift the hammer, he just chose not to. And it's like,
It's like, okay.
like I feel like
What?
like I guess I could believe that or whatever. But
So
like
what, he
there-
just chose not to do it in that
Yeah,
scene
I
where
guess.
it was teased that he could do it? Like, that was a
Yeah.
very intentional, like, oh, he almost did it. It was not like,
Yeah, I felt like the
He
whole
just
thing
can't.
was like he was almost worthy, like,
yeah.
and be a nod like, oh, Capcan does lift the hammer at some point, like he has done it in the past in the comics. So like,
Yeah, in the comics, it's
maybe-
like when he has the heart of a warrior. So when he's like fighting
Yeah.
for a cause, like he's worthy.
Yeah.
So when he's fighting for the survival of the entire universe, good. I'm glad he's worthy. I saw
Yeah.
somebody was like, oh, he wasn't worthy until he admitted that he was hiding something from Tony in Civil War. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that's a bit of a stretch
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
to say. Oh, well, he knew that Winter Soldier killed his parents, and the fact that he kept that
Well,
secret.
I'm sure he didn't know the whole time. I'm sure like it was brought
Yeah.
up in Civil War that he was like, hey, by the way, I killed Tony's parents.
Yeah.
Like, can this guy fuck off?
Yeah, the video was like, oh well, it was like a BuzzFeed article or some shit on
I hate
Snapchat,
BuzzFeed so much.
and it was like yeah, until he admitted that he knew that
KPs are down.
to Tony, then he wasn't worthy. I was like, so this one secret with this one person determines cosmic worthiness. I was like, those things seem pretty unrelated.
Yeah. But there was I saw a meme in like a group chat where it was like
And I just found out
where
what it
Thor's
was.
like, Cap, now might be a good time for you to get worthy. And he's like, that's my secret, Thor.
I'm always worthy.
And I was like, that's basically how it was.
Yeah.
And like, it was such a good moment though. Like, I was so upset because my theater was so fucking quiet.
Oh
Like-
no, I cheered.
There were so many like, I looked up on YouTube like. It was like it's like theater reaction to like some moments in the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, cause I missed out on them.
So
for
you
me.
just like
So I was
put
like-
on headphones,
Yeah,
put
I
on a
was like,
VR
it's like-
headset.
It's like I'm actually there.
I'm there. This
And,
is
like,
the
it
crowd
was-
that I deserve.
It was so fucking annoying because there was like this and that happening, and like for that moment, I just said to myself, I was like, yes, like that's all you heard, and like nobody said anything the whole movie. I was so upset because everybody was like cheering and stuff, and like
Yeah.
because I just couldn't contain myself in that moment. I was like, I have to say something because he fucking just lifted the hammer, so I was like, yes. Because like when the hammer like hits him, it's always like oh, who's it gonna be? And I was like, it's either Cap or Vision that somehow
Yeah.
came back.
That would make sense because
And-
Vision.
And then it was
is
Cap,
just a-
and I was like, yes. And
I love them talking about it. They're like, well, if you put the hammer on an elevator, does the elevator
Yeah.
still go up? And Tony goes, elevator's not worthy. And
Yeah.
I just loved that little bit where they were talking about it.
there was I was just watching like a bunch of stuff to catch up on
Look at that concert going on over there.
Yeah. I was looking up like some like Incredible Hulk comics, and there's one where like the Red Hulk shows up, and like he fights Thor, and he like grabs the hammer, like, but it's in Thor's hand, and like jumps into space, and they're trying to say like because it was attached to Thor, he could like carry Thor with the hammer, and it wasn't like he was lifting the hammer.
Yeah.
So and I was like, okay, and then like they got into space, and then like the Red Hulk then took the hammer like actually, and then beat Thor with it, and I was like,
'Cause they were
and
in
his thing
space.
was like, oh, there's no gravity, so like what would it be heavy to? And I was like, all right, like
Yeah, that's happened a couple of times. Like Iron Man's used it in space, flying around using it, and it also gets into like the literal semantics of like the spell that was put on
Yeah.
by Odin. It's like if you're worthy, if you're not worthy, you can't wield it. So
Yeah.
it's like, well, what is wielding? You know, like is he
yeah, because
using it to fight?
I missed in Avengers, like the first Avengers, it was such a missed opportunity where like Hulk goes to lift the hammer and he doesn't do it. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're not worthy. Like, we're just starting the MCU, so you can't really play with the crazy stuff.
Yeah,
But I love moments where the Hulk does lift the hammer because he's so strong.
yeah,
Like, that's the thing, because, like, it's always just, like, the Hulk is strong. Okay, how strong is he? I don't know, he's pretty strong. Like, there's no, level.
yeah. It should
How
be
strong he
essentially
is.
infinitely strong.
Like, the madder he is, the stronger he gets. He has limitless, like, anger.
yeah, he just absorbs more like
And it's like
gamma radiation in the universe.
And at this point, there's no like measure to his strength in the MCU because now he's like Professor Hulk and weak, and last
Yeah, now
time we
he's not
saw
gonna
him, he
be
got
mad.
his fucking ass beat by Thanos.
Yeah, now he's not going to be mad enough to actually do anything. So
Like,
we're definitely never going to see him do
So
that.
like, I hope that he doesn't stay like that forever.
Network of energy transformers? Who does that?
Like, cause that would be really upsetting. Like, you know, it's nice and all, but sometimes you need like the actual Hulk. And like, they definitely need to make like a new Hulk film to like expand on like his whole thing. And plus, they have like Abomination, like he's still like canon,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So he's around. Where is he? I don't know.
He's just chilling in a. He's like Thanos on his fucking grotto.
In the fucking
Somewhere.
chair. That fucking chair. Just like crazy. Christ.
Oh, fuck.
Stop.
Time out.
I don't know how to beat you, I forget. Just hit this thing.
Only one more.
Only one more. There it is. Wait, nope. Saw like the red laser. I was like,
What the? Oh, I
was
thought
like,
that dude was just
yeah,
standing.
I thought he was just standing there too. I was
I
like,
thought he just had really good posture.
yeah. Got shot.
Wow, you have 116 now.
Really slow motion for some reason. I think I'm dying.
Wait.
I don't know what's happening.
What is it?
Ah, motorcycle! Look at that motorcycle. What is happening? What the fuck was that? Oh my god, that man's getting electrocuted to death. I thought it was interesting. I was thinking before that like, it's like Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and like you notice that they don't have it like Spider-Man 2 or like anything like that.
Oh yeah.
Because they're definitely trying to disassociate themselves with the other ones.
Yeah.
Because it's like Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, The
And
Amazing
then
Spider-Man, The Amazing
the
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
2.
That did nothing.
Did absolutely nothing.
Let me just throw a water jug at it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, the entire police station is no longer being electrocuted.
Police are free, but demons aren't backing down.
Like, could they immediately run out and point their guns out?
There's like, fuck these people. Oh, those are civilians. Also, I like that they couldn't have just like shot the glass windows and jumped through the windows.
Yeah. I gotta say, like, the game really, like, throws, like, me for a loop when, like, it's, like, the Sinister Six, but, like, they have Mr. Negative with it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've never pictured him as I've never seen him as a part of the team. Like, because I grew up with, like, the Spider-Man animated series with, there's, like, 15 million of them, but it's the one from 94 to, like, 97, or I think it was to 99 even. And they had, like, that show was, like, the original, like, MCU. Because,
Yeah.
like, they had, like, Spider-Verse, they had Secret Wars. Like, that show, like, was whack. And, like, I remember, like, my Sinister Six was, like, it was, like, Dr. Octopus always, because he makes the team.
Yeah.
Okay, like, fuck off, dude. There's so many this game. And then it's, like...
It's happening again.
It's happening again. Yeah,
Oh, it's
I was
'cause you
getting
got
shot to
shot.
death. There was a... It was like with Rhino, Vulture, Mysterio was in there. I remember at the end of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, they had... I think it was Sony said, like, don't make a nod to the Sinister Six. And they did at the end. The end credits was, like, leading up to the Sinister Six, and then nothing happened. And, like, apparently there's a lot of... they're in talks about having Mysterio show up a lot more in the MCU. Like, they're gonna use him more. Like, there's plans for him.
Because they're like, oh, we got Jake Gyllenhaal. Let's fucking
Yeah, let's use
let's
him.
milk this cow.
So I'm like, oh, it's gonna be Sinister Six, and there's so many people. Like, the movie and everything is like, Mysterio's gonna be good. He's not, though. He's definitely going to be the villain of the film because right now, like, with any trailer, they show off the villain right off the bat. And right now, we're at the final trailer. The film's coming out, and, like...
we haven't seen a villain.
And there hasn't been, like, another main villain.
There's just been, like, those elementals, and
Well,
that's
like,
it.
There's something about those
It's definitely 100%, like, fucking, Syndrome in
Syndrome.
It's Syndrome in
Oh yeah.
Incredibles.
There I go.
Where it's
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. Is that he's gonna pretend to be the hero
trying to be the hero.
because that's like his intrinsic thing. Like even in the Spider-Man animated series and everything from then on, it's like I'm Mysterio, I'm a good guy.
He's
and then
manipulative.
and then he's the master of illusion, and then he just fucks with you.
I just watched one where they switched the Hulk and Spider-Man's brains.
What?
Mysterio switches. It was like in one of the animated What Ifs, I think.
Oh yeah.
And Mysterio switches Hulk's brain with Spider-Man's brain.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And it just makes the Hulk in the animated shows makes me laugh because like Bruce Banner is like non-existent, like he isn't a smart guy.
Yeah.
It's just like Hulk is perpetual and always Hulk.
Dude, Hulk is always. Like that's what I like is that there's not enough Hulk in the MCU, like, because Hulk, like he got obviously like his most in Ragnarok.
Well, then they also like basically were like no more Hulk at all. Like Infinity War was like. It was like, yeah, Hulk can't do anything. Hulk's gone. He's never coming back. And then it was like, just kidding. He's only Hulk.
Yeah, but now he's like weak Hulk. He's brainy
He's weak Hulk and he wears hoodies. Like, I don't.
And he dabs.
And he dabs.
I didn't like that at all.
Dab. Well,
Like I know it's supposed to show that he's out of touch.
Yeah.
But that's after the 5-year jump, and there's no way that it's
that's what
ever
I'm saying.
like. It's one thing to be like, oh, the dab is irrelevant. Who the fuck is shooting me? I'm dying again. Look at this. Fuck off.
Like I went quiet just for you to launch a fucking
like
manhole
it's the fucking
cover.
gun people that are killing me. And like it's one thing to be like, oh, they're out of touch, but for you to do the dab 5 years from now, like that's beyond like irrelevant.
Well, that also messed me up a little bit, like as far as timeline goes. So now the MCU is no longer present day. Like, is that?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like that's what I'm pretty sure of.
Is the MCU now going to be perpetually
Because that's
5
what
years in the future?
that's what Tony says like a bunch of times. He's like, listen, I'll help you, but Jesus Christ.
Don't change what happened.
He's like,
he just
he's
gave
like, if it comes down to it, I'm gonna protect what I have now.
Yeah, he said, don't change what happened in the last
He's like,
5 years.
just bring back the people that we lost, and that's what happened.
Bring them back to right now. And then also, Jimmy Fallon said it, but I also saw it on a, somebody posted it on a meme, and it was like, so 5 years passed and Ned's still in high school? Like, what's good with that? And Jimmy Fallon actually brought it up when he had them all on his show, like, just like last week. And he was like, so you guys all in high school still? And they were all like, wait a minute. And Colby Smulders is, like, Maria Hill is in the background, and she, like, hasn't talked this whole time, and then she goes, oh, wait, yeah, what's up with that? Like, what do you guys, what happened?
Yeah, like, that's fair, like, that was such a good question, because I guess so?
Like, and I get that, like, Tom Holland would still be in high school, yeah, because he wasn't around for those 5 years, so he would...
But we don't know if, like, he was... Like, if Ned was, like, snapped out,
yeah,
too.
if Ned was snapped out or not, but, like...
Also, like, I think the Russos said that Aunt May was not snapped out, but then, like, the director of Spider-Man Homecoming said yes, she was. And I'm like, okay, I don't know who to believe,
Yeah, I don't know
I
who
feel
to
like
trust.
you're both just making up stuff.
I feel like you're just saying... Well, that's the problem that, like, came out after Endgame, is they keep, like, having these new, like, releases, like, the Russo brothers say this, the Russo brothers... And I'm like, can you just let the movie be?
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to explain... It's like a joke. Like,
And
you
it's
don't
like,
need to
oh,
sit
this
there and
is...
explain
And it's like,
it.
it's... Like, I don't know, there's some questions where it's like figure out the Cat Peggy thing, but, like...
Yeah.
I feel like I'm pretty sure it's all one timeline, or the ancient one wouldn't have, because they made a point to say like, we are not gonna make alternate universes because that's what the comics do, and that shit's confusing.
Yeah, well,
and like what bothers me is that it's not like there's the multiverse and then you have multiple timelines in the universe. It's like every alternate timeline makes a new universe.
Yeah.
And it's like you're just adding to more of it. Like that's just like what like really confuses me. But like
yeah. Well, I think they were like the Russo brothers announced that he was in an alternate timeline when he went back to Peggy, and it's like, okay, well, so what? That totally messes with what the Ancient One said, where you can't create
but then
alternate
also,
timelines.
Like, it doesn't really matter almost. Like, so it's like you're telling me that he returned all the stones, went to like live with Peggy, and then like towards the end of his life was like, all right, I'm gonna go back to my main universe.
That's what I think.
Because, like, what I believe is that, like, it still works because I'm pretty sure they confirmed that he was the secret husband that Peggy had.
Okay.
And I was like, that makes sense. And, like, I want to watch Civil War again. Like, I think Civil War is one of the films I've watched the most where I'm, like, hesitant to watch it because, like, I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
But, like, I want to go back and, like, watch the Peggy's, like, funeral scene and be like, is there, like, a really old person or something that, like, I could be like, oh, that's him.
That's Cap.
Like, he's
Like,
watching
they've
on.
planned to do this for a long time.
Like, he's watching in the distance because I'm pretty sure, like, Cap of all people would not be there.
Yeah.
Unless he's like, I was already there. Like, in the past. Because, like, what he can do is, like, he goes back. Like, I kind of wanted to do a thing where it's like I draw it out. And it's like he goes back to, like, be with Peggy. And then he just, like, lives, like, the secret life. He's, like, secretly, like, since he's, like, the secret husband, he's related to Sharon, who he kisses. Which he doesn't know about. And everybody's like, ew, he kisses. Is it Sharon? It's like, yeah, he doesn't know. Like,
I don't think he kissed his niece. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
If he had a fucking... Like, I don't know. I don't think he kissed his niece, like, blood relative. Like, I feel like it was... He kissed that girl in the timeline that we see, like, the current reality. And then I like the idea of... He went to an alternate timeline, really. Like, he lived out his thing when he was fixing all the... He put all the stones back. He was fixing everything. He lived his life, and then he fixed it again. I don't know if that's too complicated or if that's too much.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's what happens when you play with time travel, but it was, like, the one way they could get out of it.
Yeah. Everyone had a problem with that, and I was like, listen, I think of all the people, he fucking deserved it.
Yeah,
because I love, like I said, love Cap, and I think that really just did him justice. I think he deserved it. Because like, even, like, Tony says, like, he's pointless without war. Like, that he loves conflict. He has to exist because of conflict. So it's good that he got to live a life where he didn't need a war. He didn't need a battle to, like, feel like he was needed.
It was kind of weird, though, because, like, the Winter Soldier film was about him moving on and, like, all that stuff, and he's like, oh, he's going to be with Sharon, and, like, Civil War's like, hey, he's going to be with Sharon, and then it's like, Infinity War, they really hammer home, like, he still loves Peggy and has the picture around so much.
Always, yeah.
Like, he's always had it, but now they're like, look, he has it with him, he's, like, always looking at it, goes back to the first Avengers, like, he's there again, like, he's always carrying it with him, and it's like, now he's with Peggy again. It's like, okay, well, I fuck Sharon then.
Yeah, it kind of is like, so...
And, like, they show off in the beginning of Endgame where it shows all the screens of people missing. She's one of them. Yeah. Along with Eric Selvig, who no one gives a fuck about. Yeah. Apparently. And, like, that's just it. And then, like, she's gonna show up in the Falcon and Soldier series, and I want her to be like, where's Cap at? And they'll be like, well, went back in time and he's Peggy's husband. It's like, what?
We need an anti-serum for Devil's Breath.
Like, that was just really confusing.
Because it was nice to see him move on.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it was nice to see him move on. It was nice to see him, like
it was a nice ending for him.
Living, yeah.
Like, he got to live the life he wanted.
But now it's just like, was he only with her because of her relation to Peggy? Like,
I don't know.
Was it like I hope not.
I like to think of it as like, like the timeline is like everything has happened before and everything will happen again. Where it's like, it's not like that's the first time he's gone back to do that, because if it works like that, that means like another him, or like the timeline loops. Yeah. Where it's like he becomes old, and then like, so like, yeah, he becomes old.
Let me give you my number.
Goes back.
And goes back. And then like he's with Peggy as like he's also frozen in ice. Yeah. So he goes old. That frozen and then that frozen one does like all the events or whatever. Then he goes back.
To the back in time, where there's now another frozen one.
Yeah, and it's just like a whole loop. But I'm like, all right, that's cool that it works like that. But like, and like, that would make sense. Like, I don't remember the mention of like the secret husband with Peggy. I think it's in Civil War, if anything, because that wasn't like they really talked. Because that's like when they reintroduced her. Yeah. Unless that was Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
I think it was Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier is when he goes back and visits her, and she's senile. Yeah. And then she dies in Civil War. I don't think she's actually in Civil War at all.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a mention. I feel like the mention of her husband would be more in Winter Soldier, because like that's when they reintroduce her. Yeah. Unless like at the funeral she's like, my Aunt Peggy had a secret husband. And everybody's like, what? Like, it's kind of personal. I don't know why you're saying that.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to say to someone's funeral.
But
This place is full of fist
Like-
guys with suspicious bulges.
It's just all,
Guns.
as Doctor Who would say, some wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff
Can't order a raid over
that like is really
Just a
confusing.
hunch, but
Of course, because
there
of
might
time
be a public
travel.
disturbance pretty soon.
And like now they're just like Doctor Strange was like, oh, there's a multiverse. Now there's like, yep, there's a multiverse now. We're gonna go into that, so that'll be fun. And we'll pick this up next time.